Hey y'all, it's Lemonette. This video asks the question, where do YouTubers come from? And I am curious as to what your heritage is, what your ancestors did, what kind of stock are you made of? Are you common stock? Do you come from royalty? Do you come from the rich upper class? What are your roots? Where did you come from? I'm going to share with you a little bit of mine, and it's really the same on both my mom and dad's side of the family. A few little details are different, but it's basically the same. I'm going to first show you a picture of my maternal grandparents, and I'm going to do that. I'm going to try to show you in the video. If it doesn't come out, then you'll see a cut to a snapshot of it. But here's the picture, here's the photo. I don't know how closely you can see that. Notice up here the hole in the window, the big gaping hole in the window that is stuffed with clothes, old clothes and rags, so that they can keep the wind out. Her name is Julia. His name was David. He was married at first to her sister, and I can't remember her name to save my life right now, but she died, and I think maybe in childbirth. Not sure about that. I'd have to go back and check on that, but she died, and after she died, he married Julia, her sister. Their surname was Freeman. She was a Watson, I believe, before she married him. I think that's right. Anyway, they were sharecroppers. And as you can see from the photo, they're a little haggard looking. They look like they've had a hard life, and they did. They were sharecroppers and never really owned anything in their life. They had a passel of kids, of course, as was the norm. Didn't know how to stop it, I'm sure. But anyway, they had a passel of kids, and my mother was the youngest. She was, my grandmother was 36 when my mother was born. My mother was 36 when I was born. So by the time I came along, she was 72, and by the time I can remember being around her, she was in her mid to late 70s, and, didn't live long after that. I didn't really know her for that long. Never met my grandfather. He died long before I was born. He actually died when my mother was 9. So, he loved music, and he played piano and gave piano lessons. And my mother was always really talented musically. She could sing alto, and she could play a little bit of piano by ear. She never took lessons, though, because he died so young he didn't have a chance to give her lessons. My grandmother was a stern woman, and it just makes you kind of glad that you live in today's world. When you look back at how tired she looks, she just looks exhausted. And the way they got this picture taken was a traveling photographer would go around to the different farms, travel around and stop and ask somebody did they want pictures. Of course, they didn't have cameras of their own or any weights. They didn't have a drugstore to take them to develop or anything like that. So the traveling photographer took this. And he also took some pictures of the kids. I have a picture of my mom, and she was really young when this picture was taken, which means my grandmother and grandfather both were probably in their early 40s. If 40. My grandmother might have been, 39. I can't really remember how old my mother was in the picture. She was young. I know she wasn't over 6 years old. But anyway, they both have on their little leather boots, their work boots, and she looks kind of like Granny on the Beverly Hillbillies a little bit, and probably just as feisty. The main memory I have of her is she would sit in a rocking chair and eat cornbread and sweet milk out of a jelly glass. And I would always want some, and she would always give me a bite of her cornbread and sweet milk. And my mother would say, "Oh, Ned, come in here and let me fix you your own. You don't bother your grandma." But grandma always gave me a bite of her cornbread and sweet milk. Never minded. She used to read me Bible stories out of a Bible story book. Anyway, that's where I came from, and I'm interested in knowing where you came from. So show me your old pictures. I know everybody has an old picture like this somewhere in the closet, in the, up in the attic. Somewhere you have an old picture, and you know who it is. So show it to us. Show us where you came from, and we can all share that with each other. I think it'll be fun. I love yous, and this is video number in a series of 12. I'm uploading them out of order, so I can't say what number anymore. But yeah, it's one of my 12 steps in May videos. And I want y'all to join us, make a video. Tell us where you came from. Love yous. Bye now.
Embrace the road you travel.